People of the world, welcome to Send It Rising Live. My name is Kellen Countsman. I own a marketing company. Hey, we're talking about ways to make money in Facebook groups today. In case you're wondering what's going on, this is a live show. You can join us youtube.com/Send It Rising. Meta introducing new ways for creators to make money using Facebook groups. Top story on the hour. We'll also be talking about how the NBA signed a new exclusive content deal with Twitter, including 40 Twitter Spaces events. Do you know about Twitter Spaces? You might want to learn about them if you're unfamiliar. Clubhouse adds support for 13 additional languages. Not sure if you've been on Clubhouse either, but if you're trying to grow an entrepreneurial idea, well, Twitter Spaces and Clubhouse are good ideas. Snapchat adds new certification course to help build expertise in Snap ads. Holy smokes. I love me some TikTok. Haven't gotten into the Snapchat. 35 internal code words Facebook uses to talk about its users and tools. What kind of jargon do they have? Don't just deactivate your Facebook account. Delete it permanently if you want to be done and donezo with all that nonsense. Show you how to do that. Why is Facebook ditching face recognition? And will it delete my data? We'll drive that particular car down that particular road. Let's start with the main story of the day. Meta. It's hard for me to even say. Meta introduces new ways for creators to make money using Facebook groups. Facebook groups administrators and moderators will now be able to create community fundraisers, turn on e-commerce shops, or charge subscription fees for special subgroups. This coming from CNBC.com. Facebook has been making a push to lure more creators or influential social media users onto its service as it faces heightened competition from TikTok, Snap, and YouTube. Quote, "We really want to be the best place for creators to have a sustainable business and offering," said Tim Allison, head of the Facebook app. So basically, the attention economy, which is something that you're familiar with, it's not going anywhere. And if you aren't popular, the class struggle is real. I mean, it's wild to me just how every decade that goes by, popularity somehow has even more value. I mean, we literally, if you're in the United States or a democratic nation, have our entire social structure based on a popularity content or contest. We vote for people, right? And this is what we're doing with our attention nowadays. We continue to vote. And major platforms like Meta, Facebook in particular, yeah, they're trying to get people, just like with Twitter super follows, to have major influencers bring their audience over. If you have an audience, you have massive opportunities to make a bunch of money. And therein lies the question, what are you willing to do to get that audience to listen to you? As many business owners have told me, they've shown me with their actions over the years, as I am the owner of Send It Rising Internet Marketing, 40 clients nationwide. We do SEO, we do blogging, we build WordPress websites, we manage Google Ads, we do graphic design, we do a million different things. And what I've found is that most business owners don't want to be doing this. They don't want to play this game. They see this game as something completely outside of what they should have to do to run a company. For example, they will be a personal injury attorney, for example, and they just won't be the face of that company. They're afraid to do it. Now, we have a client that actually took our advice, went on Instagram, got 130,000 views on one of his posts. He's very happy. So when they take the bull by the horns and they realize that this is where it's going, the billboards of the future are made. They are self-made. You get people to come around your content. And so the growth of the audience, I can only see as just this incredibly necessary piece of entrepreneurship moving forward. And it is evidenced by things like Facebook groups, where you can now turn on e-commerce shops or charge subscription fees for special subgroups. And so everyone's gonna be talking about Facebook groups and how you can, bring your audience there and make money. And they're all competing. You've got Twitch competing for influencers. You've got LinkedIn competing for influencers. Everyone wants you to work for them. And make no mistake, when you create a live video, as I create this particular live stream on YouTube, Twitch, LinkedIn, etc., I am working for them. I am producing content for them. The agreement is that they provide me with the technology so I can reach my audience. They get paid on the advertising dollars I generate from the content itself. So the fact that Meta is getting into this game is unsurprising, to say the least. Moving right along, the NBA signs new exclusive content deal with Twitter, including 40 Twitter Spaces events. So talking about these sort of communities online, this is just one more. If you haven't checked it out, Twitter Spaces, you can have a whole bunch of people in a room. You can ask to speak. It's very similar to Clubhouse. The NBA discourse is huge on Twitter. And today, according to Social Media Today, the platform has solidified its partnership with the NBA, signing a new content deal that will see the NBA continue to provide exclusive content highlights and free live game segments as part of a multi-year agreement. The NBA said, quote, since joining Twitter in 2009, the NBA has built one of the largest Twitter communities in the world with more than 380 million followers globally across all league, team, and player platforms. So with massive influence on these platforms, I'm reminded of Trump and I'm reminded of the politics that go into this. So if the NBA does something that makes Twitter unhappy, they've got major issues. Twitter definitely wants the NBA, and the NBA definitely wants Twitter. But if certain things happen or certain players, like there's a relationship there that they have to deal with. And these platforms, as I've said on previous shows, they're like governments. They have to create these rules. They have to pardon certain people. They have to play these games, and ultimately they have massive power, and I've argued in previous episodes that they have more power than local governments. And so you have major multinational global institutions wheeling and dealing. The most recent one is NBA and Twitter. Clubhouse, if you're unfamiliar, is very similar to Twitter Spaces. You can show up, you can talk, you can ask to talk, you can build communities. It got very popular during the pandemic. They've added 13 additional languages, and they're continuing to see a strong uptick in India. The reason I'm mentioning this particular social media.com article is because if you're unfamiliar with Clubhouse, you might want to go check it out. If you are a local small business, it's not relevant for you. But if you're an app, if you're selling something nationally, if you're like a business coach that can take clients anywhere, then places like Clubhouse are where it's at. If you're a CPA that's licensed in the whole United States, national based businesses, Twitter Spaces, Clubhouse might be really neat avenues for you to check out. Also, if you want to work on your public speaking chops, this is also a great place to do that. Clubhouse apparently is up to 32.7 million total downloads globally. India leading the way with 10.3 million. So Clubhouse, gaining traction, more languages. Keep an eye out for them. Snapchat adding a new certification course to help build expertise in Snap ads. I was just talking to my staff this morning about doing TikTok ads. We have a client that is a kayak tour company, and they do quite well. And they, in January, are going to be pushing this big sort of spring promotion. Come on down to Vegas, hop on the river, do this kayak tour. You're going to love it. And what ended up happening was we talked about TikTok ads, Snap ads, that sort of stuff. I mean, they are what I just described. They're that national presence. And TikTok ads, Snapchat ads tend to be more affordable than, say, Google ads because they're relatively newer platforms. They are not as entrenched. So now Snapchat unveiling a new certificate course in ad optimization to its Snap Focus education platform, according to socialmediatoday.com, providing another pathway to build your Snap ads expertise. Now, all of these ad platforms are the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like there's who do you want to target? What does the ad look like? It's not hard to get in and to create ads on these platforms. Having the willingness to do it. Once the person leaves that ad and they end up on your website, having a good landing page that converts, tracking those conversions, that the organization of doing all of that, staying on top of it, refreshing the ads, that's when it gets tricky. So Snap ads, TikTok ads, there's going to be a lot of people that make a lot of money by exploiting these resources early before they become ubiquitous, like Facebook ads and Google ads. You're going to find many more people that are specialized in Google and Facebook ads, just given the amount of time and resources available. But keep an eye out, Snapchat ads. And if you're interested, the article link is right there in the description. You can check out the new certificate course for Snapchat ads if that's something you want to investigate. 35 internal code words Facebook uses to talk about its users and tools. This one from gizmodo.com. There were all of these internal documents that got released. Francis Haugen, whistleblower. Watch previous episodes if you don't know what I'm talking about. Corgi. I had two corgis. Apparently, corgi is a code word at Facebook, refers to a complex mathematical model that Facebook's researchers came up with internally in order to find clusters of users that might be operating in an authentic way. What? Why would you call that a corgi? A corgi should refer to something that's incredibly cute that wants belly rubs. Bon Jovi apparently is an internal investigation tool to track accounts on Instagram and Facebook. H1, H2, H3, with countless lines of code running at any given time, the company needed to push out updates in a series of stages. The first stage is H1. Eat your veggies. It's a protocol that Facebook employees are expected to follow around major or sensitive updates to people's news feed. A black hole, according to Facebook jargon, is an internal tool used by researchers to blacklist any URLs, domains, or IP addresses. Interesting. And it goes on. Yoda is an in-house text processing tool to sift through people's posts at scale. So, I don't know. There's jargon, and we now know about Facebook jargon. We often talk about Facebook, and a lot of people get really upset with Facebook. I do want to take a moment just to remind people that there are many people that work at Facebook that aren't necessarily completely thrilled with the direction of the company. And, we need to parse those people from our feelings about the social network and also individual responsibility. If you're on Facebook and it's making you sad, get off Facebook. Kellen, that's easy to say. You're not a 16-year-old girl with, you know what? That's not even true. Like a 16-year-old girl isn't even on Facebook. She's on TikTok. She's on Snapchat. We got to talk about those platforms, but there are definitely privacy issues, which is why we're going to talk about not just deactivating your Facebook account, but permanently deleting it. Some people love Facebook. I get where you're coming from. Some people hate it. I get where you're coming from. Don't just deactivate your Facebook account, delete it permanently. Deactivating your Facebook account isn't good enough. We'll show you how to completely cut ties with the social network. People's opinions about Facebook are a mixed bag. That's true. But basically, to get rid of it, delete the Facebook app from your phone and tablet. Wow, that's the first step, apparently. Remember that deleting the Facebook app doesn't delete your account. You can still access it from the browser, and other apps might still use Facebook as a login. That's right. That's the thing about Facebook is they became so culturally ubiquitous through the use of the login function. So there are so many areas where it was just easier for me to click login using Facebook. I'm like, whatever, it's fine. But now, if I ever want to get rid of my Facebook, well, there you have it. They've kind of got me there. Choose a messaging or social media alternative. Well, sure, you got to find something like WhatsApp or whatever else you want to use. Disconnect your Facebook account from other apps and logins. Oh my goodness, this is insane. Yeah, like third-party developers such as Spotify and DoorDash have long offered the option of using your Facebook account as a way to sign up. So you literally would have to go into settings, apps, and websites and figure out which of these individually you have to go. Oh, this is insane. You're going to have to go to this article if you're serious about this, because this is a multi-step process. Tiers. Let me say, once you've done all of this, your mind, you can cancel the deletion. But that getting rid of Facebook, it's I hate to put it this way, but it's sort of like a surgical operation. It's like removing a tumor. I apologize to anyone who's had a tumor. I don't mean to make light of that, but I think now when I'm saying like this is not easy to do. It's like virtual surgery, which is to say, yikes. This is absolutely nuts. And they make it, of course, as difficult as is humanly possible, because that's what any smart company would do. They don't want you to ever. It should go to show you that you are working for Zuckerberg when you and spend time on Facebook. Every you spend creating content on Facebook, the moment that you are putting money in, and make no mistake about it. Pockets of those that. Why is Facebook face recognition, and will it delete my data? This in the previous episode. Getting rid of it because of societal pressure, and according to this article, they are going to get rid of it. It is uploaded to Facebook according to News Scientist. Scientist.com. Images uploaded have been scanned by AI. 10, giving the uploader the option to people in the image. Meta attracted when the feature first launched for failing to ask. Yep. In 2012, the company switched off face recognition for people in the EU after a German data protection commissioner said it violated EU law. They got fined. There was something in Illinois that was an issue. They had to pay $550 million. Meta has now announced that it'll shut down the system globally and delete the face print data collected from Facebook. So, we're done with it. Whatever. We don't care. So what does that mean? That means that, again, like I mentioned before, we can make significant politicians can make significant change. 550 million ain't no joke. That ain't no joke. So let's recap the news of the day. Meta introduced for creators to make money using Facebook. Yeah, great. So there are opportunities for influencers to have groups to charge for subscriptions, charge for special content. Everybody's doing this. This is not a new thing. It just so happens is also doing it. The NBA signing a new content deal with Twitter, 40 Twitter events, behemoths working with behemoths. Clubhouse and Twitter, these are just reminders for you to maybe check them out if you haven't already. Adding a new certification, socialmediatoday.com. If you want to check that out, there's a cert you can train for. Get at the Snapchat ads, 35 internal code words Facebook uses to talk about tools. Yeah, don't just deactivate your Facebook account. Yeah, it's like surgery. Good luck trying to detangle all that. Finally, Facebook really is ditching face recognition. They've had enough. They don't want to be found anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for swinging by Send It Rising Live. If you want to be a guest on the show, shoot me an email, info, that's info@senditrising.com. If you know anyone who needs a website, any marketing advice, SEO, blog, Google ads, LinkedIn ads, all that stuff, that is what incredible folks that work with me do for a living. We genuinely appreciate you swinging on by. If you're listening to us on the podcast, every download. Every time that number goes up, it warms my heart. We're a small community. I'm not going to lie to you. So every single one of you that's listening